Hello and welcome to another Midweek conversation at First Baptist Sweetwater, where we strive to be the first responders of God's love. My name is Jerry Hendricks, and I'm here with my best P3 friend, Teak Hamilton. Teak, we survived the week.
We did.
Well, of course, we didn't do as much as a lot of people who were involved with it, but
Right.
but maybe you did. You took a lot of pictures this time.
I did. And, last week I said that the leaders are probably just glad that you, me, and Lisa don't show up all together at one time.
Right.
Stacy watched it and she said, yes, we are. So there you go.
I have great fun getting to know some of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes maybe my fun is interpreted as disruptive to the leader.
And it's not just you. It's
Okay,
me
good.
too.
Great.
And apparently Lisa also, because Stacy said it's better to take us in spurts.
Well, it was a great week.
Yeah.
A great weather week for us.
Yeah. We went from air conditioning last year to rain and cool this year.
Oh.
Next year we're going to get paid back or something. I feel like it's coming. 110 degree heat next year.
I think so.
So sign up to help with P3.
Right. Well, we've had our meeting today, our post P3 meeting, and it went real well, thinking about possibilities of what this looks like next year. And obviously this year was somewhat different because we've taken a year off from our normal structure.
Right. Yeah. It made it a little bit different, but hey, it worked. It went good.
Well, there's probably things we learned about the process this year that maybe we wouldn't have ordinarily, that I think are going to help us going forward.
Yeah.
And but like I said, Sunday, it's always exciting to watch. I think we're aware that our children are growing into teenagers, that they're moving from children's ministry to student ministry, but that's one of the ways we get to see it more than any other thing that we do.
Yeah, get to see them leading out.
Yeah, and so I was talking about Ryder Glass today, who I first noticed him when we went to kids camp together, and then he was baptized here not many weeks ago, and then this week at P3, one of the days I was on his location, he was leading the memory verse.
Yeah.
And so that progression, and he's going to be an 8th grader?
Seventh grader.
7th grader. And
one of the cool things about, and I didn't think about this when we were talking, at a vacation Bible school, when youth are, youth help, you're put in recreation, crafts, or maybe a gopher like with a class, but you're always with an adult. P3, because we framed it to where there's fewer people working at each location, kids got to throw, or students have to throw in, and they're doing stuff that's not important. I'm not saying that others are important, but it's elements they don't get to do at a VBS, a traditional VBS. Yeah. And so that is cool.
Well,
Mackenzie did it also.
They're given more responsibility, and I think that's obviously it's important. One of the things that we do is we see kids, when you put them in situations like that, they really have to rise to the occasion, and they do, and so that's really encouraging. And then also we had, as usual, and I guess this part had kind of slipped by me, the significance of this, but we had a good number at every location of first-time people helping us, and so
not just students, not just kids, but adults, first-time helpers. That was good.
And so look forward to setting this up for next year. And one of the things that I feel like so many things this year we've not communicated well in advance because we weren't sure there was going to be any advance to something. Generally, we start talking about P3 in January or February, at least making people aware of it, and getting some of the new people getting a part of their thought process. But I think it's nice to find a sort of a new track to lay this down on and begin talking about it, and with the new vision for realizing how it fits who we are, because it's also not bad to be able to evaluate after a long period of time, and it's been around for 12
It started in 2009 was the very first one.
Yeah, so a lot of good stuff, and we're really excited about the week that we had, the opportunity to meet some new families in neighborhoods, and also to envision and prepare for this for the next year.
And, we kicked it off with P3 Sunday. Stacy and I found a shirt that says "The Man, the Myth, the Legend." So we're thinking that could be your next P3 shirt.
Well, yeah. So that was a good. You do a good job writing scripts. I think that's one of the unknown talents you have, but occasionally we get to witness it. And so that Sunday, the P3 Sunday was one of those occasions. So
that was a fun one. And it was funny watching little kids come up. I know that was you doing the puppet. Right. I heard your voice. Oh, really? Yeah. And the other was Stacy. Yeah. You're right, it was.
But it was really good. And then as I shared with some folks today already, that I look up, it's past July 4th, you tend to think of, well, we're kind of at the midpoint of summer, but when you look at our school calendars, or the school calendars around here, for some finished early, we're way past the midpoint.
Roscoe has band camp, or their like summer band starts the last week of July.
Right. I think August 1st may be on a Sunday this year. I guess I should fact check that stuff before I say it on air, but I was looking at the calendar just thinking that it's one of those things where I knew it was going to back up into that last week of July, because
it did.
Typically, from what I remembered in my student ministry days, bands all got kicked off by August 1st, and that doesn't include section leaders or percussion, I think. Does that sound right?
Yeah, percussion, color guard.
Here I am talking about
majors.
band. I was never in band.
But I mean, that's what it is. They get started, and it's just from there on out. There's no free time. I mean, they're doing that till Thanksgiving.
Right. Well, it's 2 weeks until, or 3 weeks, I guess, until kids camp, and then 2 weeks until the start of school. So it's right upon us.
Right.
A lot of things we're thinking about in terms of our programming, moving back into the fall with a good head of steam. I don't know that it's a full head of steam, but it's definitely positive. Definitely not as many question marks as we faced last year.
Right.
But it's going to be a really good time, and we're starting to see some of those pieces come together for us. I had a really good day Sunday with good attendance for a holiday that really I guess we kept letting it. I was preoccupied with what to do on July 4th,
right?
Because I felt like that it wouldn't be a great attendance day, and as it turns out for us, it was a better than average attendance day.
It was, and with first time guests.
Yeah, so
even better.
Real positive day for us, and that's also we're missing a few staff members and friends who were vacationing and taking some time away. So we're off to the second part of this season and continuing our series with David. And I'm reading a book along with this that helps kind of fill in some of the gaps that we're covering on from Sunday to Sunday. And I'm finding that to be quite interesting. And the frustration is not really enough time to talk about that. Some of those things on Sunday because those gaps are so big. Yeah. But David definitely provides an interesting life for us, some interesting things about him, and then also his writing of songs that we have recorded in Psalms.
In our chronological reading plan we're about halfway through all the different kings. And it consistently will say, this king was a bad king, did not follow in the footsteps of David. Yeah. Did not follow. Or would say, this one was good, did follow in the footsteps of David. And so it's cool it's interesting that all the rest of them are judged by what he was. Not by Saul, not by Solomon, but by David.
Right. Well, and it is interesting. The passage on Sunday there wasn't a lot of stories shared there, so it was a bit challenging. I am following the lectionary guideline. And we're staying right on that rather than creating our own gaps and just picking out the stories that we tend to tell over and over. And so it was really an interesting process trying to frame what that specific section looked like. But it was a good time in the life of Israel as you see David begin to take charge, take ownership of his calling, and then the people began to come around him and support him, and it really created a whole new day in the history and the life of those people.
Yeah, because we don't talk a lot about how the kingdom was actually divided after Saul and David, that there was another king that came in and actually ruled over a certain area, and it was a while till he gets dethroned and David unites the kingdom again. Yeah,
there's a lot of that process at the end of 1 Samuel that we didn't cover. We I guess dropped off there from the time he in chapter 17 where he killed Goliath, but he has this he's obedient to the king, to Saul. Then eventually Saul removes him from the field, from the shepherd's field, to being in his office full time, I guess you could say. And during that time, it was a very dramatic experience, from him consoling Saul with his music to Saul trying to murder him,
throwing things at him.
Then Jonathan coming alongside, befriending him, Saul's son Jonathan, and assuring him that he would walk with him through this till the time that David just escaped out of fear. That was an interesting period. I just covered that not long ago. You tend to forget about how low David's life got before we get to the place we were Sunday.
Because we always talk about the high places for him, and then we also talk about Bathsheba, which was not a high place at all. I mean, that's where he becomes Saul and he commits murder. I mean,
well, so, but I was reading this part about when he's running from Saul. He goes to and he stays with the enemy, the former enemy, the Philistines, and Gath. How do you say that? Gath.
Works for me.
And ultimately, he's living in a cave. But then it's interesting because there are others who were there with him, 400 men.
Yeah.
And you're going, I think there's a whole series around when life throws you in, or when life happens, and you find yourself in a cave
with 400 men.
You're not alone.
Yeah.
But real interesting section. I think that we probably don't talk ever about some of those kinds of things unless we were taking a long chronology from a message series anyway.
Yeah, it's really one of those things that just reading straight through his life would be beneficial for anybody.
Yeah,
because it's because we have 52 weeks a year, so we can't hit everything. So you're going to hit the high points, and it's usually good stories are the ones that we all know. So read that and find out what happens in his life, because it's filled with up and downs. Well,
and the book that I'm reading about him in terms of just his character and life, it in that cave section actually referred back to Psalms that he probably wrote during that period. Yeah. But anyways, it's fascinating reading, but that's all behind us. David's in Jerusalem. Things are going well. This week we talk about the Ark.
Right, that'll be fun.
It'll be interesting.
And not Noah's
I don't know
the Ark of the Covenant.
I don't know if it's going to be fun, but it's going to be interesting.
It's
2 Samuel chapter 6. If you have time, take a look at it before you come Sunday, before you listen to the message, because it is that interesting passage where they relocate the Ark. And some strange things happen en route to Jerusalem.
Is this the one where the Ark gets loose?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
This is where they get the inspiration for one of the Indiana Jones movies. I'm almost sure of it. And I don't watch many movies.
Probably so.
So for me to drop that reference, it's
so.
going to be interesting.
Yeah, well, so another way you could prepare for Sunday is to watch the trilogy of Indiana Jones.
Yeah, don't watch that fourth one, The Crystal Skull. Keep out of that, that's dumb.
So I think I don't know. It seemed like there are a lot of movies on this week. A lot of marathons this weekend. Ooh. Movie marathons.
And you know what starts next week?
Shark Week.
Yes!
I saw the commercials for it.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, so now at least we know what's coming up.
It's like a holiday for me.
Yeah.
The whole week. I love it.
Oh, mercy. Well, it's been a good week for us, and good to get back together. Enjoyed a long weekend. Look forward to the second half of this summer and all the things that are coming up into the fall as we get ready. I got my football schedule today.
Yes.
I've been looking for that thing since I got back from camp. I don't know what happened, but I haven't gone. Well, I've gone to a game or two, I guess. Wore a mask, with 5 or 6 other people.
Spaced out.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm really excited about Friday Night Lights, Saturday football, and maybe even a little bit of Sunday football.
Yeah, Sundays are made for the nap after church.
That is priority as far as I'm concerned. Anyways, thanks for joining us and let us be a part of your midweek. We look forward to seeing you Sunday and you worshiping with us either online or live. We look forward to seeing you Sunday.
See you then.